Hello to everyone. I'm Maximiliano Cruz, one of the programmers of FICUNAM, and I'm very happy to be here in this session with Jacqueline Lentzou, Director of Moon 66 Questions. Jacqueline, welcome.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you for having me, even through Zoom.
No, thank you. I would like to begin reading a brief introduction of you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline is a London Film School graduate who has written and directed 5 short films up until now, all of them having a successful festival career, having premiered at Locarno, Toronto, Berlin, and Cannes. She's the recipient of numerous prestigious awards, including the Cineleica Discovery Award by Semaine de la Critique for her short film Hector Malot, The Last Day of the Year. And now we have Jacqueline's first feature film in the frame of the international competition of 11th edition of FICUNAM, her film Moon 66 Questions. So Jacqueline, I would like to begin with this question that seemed to me a bit interesting to ask you, is that taking a look to your beautiful film and all of what's being written about it, it seems that you are concerned with love, you know, as a dramatic asset, or more precisely with the lack of love. Do you consider this is true, and why?
Yes, in general, as an artist, I'm very interested in seeing things in pairs. So I'm interested in love, and at the same time, I'm interested in the lack of it. I really like to examine the space where nothing exists and everything exists at the same time. So for sure, the starting point of this feature film project was to examine the consequences of someone who cannot express their love, and at the same time, the extra consequences of how, if you don't love yourself and you don't accept what you love, you are incapable of loving someone else, which is the daughter in the particular case. So I'm interested in this vicious circle of loving, not sharing, keeping, hiding, you know, why it all ends up bad. So, you know, for sure, I'm very interested in this topic, if you can call it a topic. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Great. My following question is, why did you choose to name your 2 leading actors as Artemis and Paris, that are 2 clear references of Greek mythology?
It's very interesting because I think people abroad very easily make this connection between with Greek mythology, but I am Greek and I never had Greek mythology in my head when I picked the names. Mm-hmm. I really like the sound of the names, and it was a very funny coincidence that after I had called my main protagonist Artemis, someone in a screenwriting workshop told me that, oh, you know, she's also the deity of the moon. So amazing that you thought of it, and I had no idea. And I'm like, good to know, but no, I just picked the names because I like the sound of the names. That's all. No heavy meaning behind it.
These names are common, like in Greek, you know, nowadays. Or?
They're not very common, but they're not uncommon. They're interesting names, okay. You know. They're cool names.
Okay, not necessarily related to mythology. Okay. No. Right. Wait, so talking about Artemis, tell us a little bit, how do you work with Sofia, no? With your leading female actor, Sofia Kokali? She's really outstanding in this film. I'm very curious to know, no? How do you rehearse? Do you work close to the script, perhaps? I don't. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, Sophia is amazing. Thank you for spotting this out. She's amazing in every film she's in, but in this particular film, I think she's like phenomenal what she's doing, you know, because it's very interesting in the film how she changes mood. She can be the child at one point, then she can be the carer, then she can be very angry, then she can be very rude, then she can be very nice. So she's, you know, I like it. So the way we worked together, you know, I never rehearse, at least up until that point. I don't like it. So I try to express and give to my actors and to Sophia and to the rest guidance through writing, because I really enjoy writing. So it's mostly some personal notes of the character. Let's say what Artemis would read in her diary, what Artemis would dream of, what Artemis thinks of, in order to create, let's say, the psychology, the eternal private world of the protagonist, of the character. And it was a lot of walking around the city, talking and exchanging thoughts. Because, you know, after working with Sophia in 2 shorts before, she's my best friend. Laos is my sister. So it's a very smooth communication.
Okay, great. You mentioned a key word to me. You mentioned dream or dreams, and I would like to ask you, how do you relate to the dream world? You know, like, are dreams important to you as a filmmaker? I ask this because, for example, there's a long shot of Artemis talking to someone about a dream she had. It was like a very touching scene also. And was this perhaps a dream of Sophia, you know, or it's more part of Artemis, you know, as a fictional character?
Exactly. Imagine that this dream, let's say, I wrote it 2 hours before we shot the scene.
Okay.
So it was an element that came like that. We were working in a very weird way that summer because we didn't have a lot of money as well. We didn't get Urimazo Media, so it was very hard to shoot. So I was constantly finding elements on set, and we were just incorporating. Dreams are very important for me. Like dreams for me are equally important as awakened life. I believe that they are equally indicative of someone's psychological state as their behavior. I don't know if I'm so much drawn into dreams because I have been into psychoanalysis for 10 years and I have read, I don't know if this is the reason, and I have been reading Lacan, Freud since I was 17, 16. I don't know if it's this or if it is indeed the fact that at least in my dreams, I have found solutions for things in daily life, and I have experienced very intense stuff that have helped me in my daily life. So I don't separate them. In my head, waking life and sleeping life is again one. I think it's people again trying to say, "Oh, now you sleep. This does not exist." I'm in a much more fluid situation where I think that all dimensions are one. So yes, I love dreams. I really believe in their importance, and I wish one day I can make a film that is like a very nice dream. I can have enough money so I can create a magical world.
Yeah, most probably it would happen. So you think maybe this film for you was, you know, to solve maybe something of your personal life, or I don't know. It is based on some personal experiences, your film?
All of my works, all of them, have to do with a personal experience. This is how I decided to follow this job, I think, because through expressing, through writing and through cinema, I feel less alone existentially. So of course there is a very big part of me in this film, for sure. I don't know if cinema is therapeutic. So if I'm not saying, oh, I have this problem, I will make this film and then the problem will go away. This would make me stupid. However, what is interesting is that you distance from your own problem when you're about to create something stemming from the problem. So it's interesting. It is still your problem in a way, but having decided to make another product out of the problem, it's not your problem at the same time. So this distance, I think, is very therapeutic. And in this extent, of course, this film has helped me a lot.
Excellent. Jackie, what about the reenactments? For example, I think it's a very important element in your film, and it works very good. Are they part maybe of this dream world, or the reenactments have to do more with a formal tool that you have?
What do you mean by reenactment?
Reenactment, for example, when Artemis acts
as her father.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for this question. Yes, I think that the way in ancient times they used to make a theatrical play, a ritual, in order to celebrate something, I think this procedure is very important. Again, for the very reason we talked about before, for the distance. So when Artemis in the film decides to reenact, let's say, her father lighting a cigarette, trying to imitate his bodily movement, and then next day he reenacts him as healthy as he remembers him in the past, I think in a way it acts like a personal psycho. It's like as if she's analyzing herself in a way, but at the same time, because she's in a film and it's fiction, it is me using her to analyze herself. I think it was a risk with all these reenactments, because I don't think all people will understand the aim of them. Maybe they seem confusing. I don't know. I haven't been in a cinema theater with audience, so I don't know how the film is received. I just read the reviews. Yes. And also what is important with reenactments is that before she finds a way to express her love to her father, a big act of love she's doing is trying to become her father. No, again, it's her way of showing that she loves him in a way, trying to understand how he experiences the disease and how he experienced the past in a way.
Okay, great, thank you. And how was your work, with the actor? He's also so amazing. He seems to be a very experienced actor. He had already worked in films like that had to do with disease, and multiple sclerosis. Or how did you rehearse all these? Because it's almost the first scene that I saw him was almost documentary. It was okay. So yes, tell us a little bit about your work with him.
It was a very big risk for me because I'm a young director, and when I was writing scenes with a very sick guy with a very particular disease, many times I was thinking, what am I going to do? I'm going to destroy myself. If he cannot do it, the film is destroyed. However, Lazarus is a very experienced actor. He has never been in such a film before, having to have these bodily changes. And but at the same time, because I really wanted it to be real, I didn't want to be like someone pretending that they cannot walk or they cannot talk. I wanted to be someone to try to walk and cannot walk. So I wanted a sick guy, actually. And initially, this was my plan, to get a really sick guy. but I could not find a CGI that could work, apparently. And then my casting director proposed Lazarus, and we really automatically communicated at once, because he also had a similar experience with a friend of his. So I told him my story, he said his story, so we connected. And we worked a lot with Vicky Panagiotakis, who is an Alexander Technique practitioner. And Alexander Technique is a very particular method where somehow you can control through your mind, and you can detach from muscle, group of muscles and particular movements. Okay. So he worked very hard on that to become like a sick person.
No, the result is incredible. Yes, it's really great. Yeah. Yes, I know, and about the reenactments. Yes, they are a risk maybe, but I mean, Sofia is so solid, and she's so great. You know, her performance. That, I mean, reenactments in the end, I think, are one of the most important elements of your film. So this is great. And there are other elements that I would like you to talk us about. They have to do with the passing of time in your film. It's the archival footage that you have. Also the tarot card, and some reference that you, well, mainly these two elements. Within these two elements, you mentioned, for example, some references as the birthday of Jackie Onassis, or maybe what's her suicide. I mean, but
Jackie O, Tina Rowland's, many birthdays, Cleopatra's birthday.
So tell us a little bit these all these elements, and how did you combine and articulate these to make clear the passing of time within your film, you know, within the story?
Look, mostly the passing of time, I wanted to depict it with real passing of time, which is very long takes that you watch and you're like, why am I watching it? And as you watch them, my target is for the viewer to say, okay, it's hard there. Time is passing very slowly. This is my aim. Mm-hmm. Regarding the diaries and the tarot cards and all these more playful elements, I didn't put them to emphasize so much time. More, I wanted to emphasize the father and daughter connecting, because I really like the idea of watching his VHS tapes, the things he shot in the past, and listening to his daughter, because it's like the director, connected them before they're connected in the film. So we were watching what she couldn't watch, and she was remembering what she couldn't remember. So it was a mix. It was a nice experiment. I think at some point it works. Now, about the historical events that she mentions, but which I really love, you know, this is a very personal thing that I put in the film, and it's something that I'm doing since I was a child. I was a very sad child. I had a very bad childhood due to my family situation, and what kept me going every day is to find out what was happening in the world when I was suffering, because it made me feel less important. Because, you know, let's say if now I break my leg and I tell you, oh, I'm so sad I broke my leg, I have two options: either to only talk about my leg, or to just look around and see what's happening at the same time around the world and feel less bad about my leg. You know what I mean? So I think it's like a prisoner's psychology. Second day in the prison, you cross out the days and you're like, okay, like this day today, this war happened, or this thing happened. You know what I mean? It's more like connecting with something outside of you that makes your problem less big, but at the same time, not less important.
Okay. Yes, like placing yourself outside your present or something like that. Okay, great. Jackie, what about the music of your film? Tell us a little bit about the songs that you chose, and for example, which is this song that Artemis is listening when she's smoking, you know, and this. I mean, this is not the only song that you have, you know, but this is a beautiful song. Tell us a little bit about it.
You know, the concept behind this song was that you know, she enters her father's house and she explores the house very discreetly. And this is one of the songs her father used to listen to. So I like the idea of discovering the father, since he cannot talk to the father because they cannot communicate. She unconsciously discovers him all of the time through being in his very space. So this song, let's say, in my head, in the backstory of the Paris character, was a song that he would listen when he was very much in love with his lover. And since it's a love that he could not express, he was feeling suffocated by his own emotions. So he was listening to this song. Then some months later, years later, you have his own daughter listening to the exact same song, not knowing why, but feeling the burden of it. So again, it's a matter of connecting the father and daughter without them knowing that they're being connected. It's weird. But general about the songs, because I love music. I deeply respect music. I think it's the highest of all arts. So I'm very particular about my songs. Unfortunately, copyrights are very expensive. It's a really traumatizing experience. How many songs I couldn't have because it was super expensive. So good for all these copyright companies. They are very rich people. Good for them.
Yeah.
But you know, when you cannot have the song you want, you go to the next option and the next option, and this journey reveals to you many more new songs. So you always win. It's a win-win situation. So I wanted to have music and songs that are not melodramatic. They're not, let's say, underlining the problem, but at the same time, they speak about the problem. A very good example of this is like the song she's listening when she's playing with the car and she's crashing the car. We're listening to Daniel Johnston's True Love Will Find You in the End. When you listen to the song, the tune is something sweet and cute and guitar, la 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 la. When you hear to the lyrics, it's not so fun. So it's like the film. It's a heavy film, but in a playful way. This is the film I want to make. Like discuss something hard and something heavy, but not with the conventional heavy lighting and heavy music and, you know, bittersweet.
Like life, no?
Yes, exactly like life.
Jackie, your film talks about many things, but also has to do with secrets. You know? It's a film about secrets. I think this is my last question. Do you consider that we all have a secret, you know, in our lives, and you know, and maybe
yes.
our lives works around our secrets? You know?
I think we have more than one secret, each and every one of us. But it's a very big discussion, the relationship that we have with these secrets. Because if the relationship with the secret per se is healthy, it's fine. Like if I'm a murderer and I know it, it's my secret, but I'm fine with it. Nothing will happen to me. The problem comes when there is an internal conflict about you and the secret you carry. And this is what the film talks about. This guy is the example of someone that could not handle his secret in a healthy way. And at the same time, he should not have this secret. He should be free to express his love. So for sure, I think we all have secrets. I think that secrets, especially family secrets, have a very big power over the members of family, invisible, kind of like a ghost. It's a special energy when things are untold. And because I have suffered from this personally, both in my family, in my relationships, and in life, my wish to the world is to stop being afraid of anything and just accept yourself and love yourself, and then everyone will love you because you will illuminate love, so you cannot not be loved.
Great. Yeah, I think thanks for your answer. It's I think this message of your film is one of the most precious messages that it has, because yes, even here in Latin America, all these things that you mentioned about the secrets within the families, and all that. It's it's terrible.
We are very similar. Latin America has a very particular and similar mentality towards family as Greece. Very similar. We are very like same people. And in the way we protect our families, in the way we expose our families, it's a very similar way. So I understand what you say.
Yes, I think the many audience will be grateful, for watching this film. All these problems that also are here in our families, that you don't know how to love, or you don't know how to communicate, or that all that mess, the film is like showing it in a beautiful way. And congratulations, Jackie, for this powerful first feature film. Thank you for this session, and we're very happy with the film in the competition.
I'm very happy too. Thank you. I hope it will win something.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah. Let's hope.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, bye-bye to everyone.